Hi Virgo, and welcome to my channel, The Guided Intuitive. Thank you so much for being here. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to do a read for you, and this will be for the month of March 2019. And this will be for all Virgo Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as your Venus signs. And if you're not sure what those signs are, I have a complimentary link down in my description box, and you can plug in all of your data, and it will pop out your whole birth chart, and you can check those other signs and see what they are, and then check the videos that relate to them, and that will actually help you. Sometimes it helps you to get a little bit more insight on your situation or whatever that is that brought you to my channel today. Okay, so please continue all your likes, your subscribes, your shares. I certainly appreciate that. And you know I read all those comments, so I appreciate that as well. And if you'd like a personal read, go to theguidedintuitive.com and we'll get you hooked up over there, okay? Because this is a general read, I'm going to be tapping into a lot of energies from all different types of Virgos, right? And even though you share the same sign, you're all at different levels of your journey, right? And since energies do transcend, what I might be talking about now might be someone's past, present, or future yet to come. So there you have it. So if it doesn't resonate with you, then leave it for another Virgo. And if it does, great. And then see how that, and make your own decision and see how that, can help you in terms of that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck here and see what's going on for Virgo here. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, specialization. Okay, now another sign got this, and I'm not sure. Gosh, I can't think of it off the top of my head here. But what this is talking about is as I move the camera down to the board, because I want you to be able to see the cards much better here. So let me go ahead and do that so you can see them much better. Okay, so here we go. All right. So what specialization talks about this? To one extent, this reminds me of the Magician card in the tarot deck. And just because it almost as if you've got magical powers, that you can choose whatever specialization that whatever tool that you have as a resource to create the abundance in your life, whether that is having to do with a relationship, whether it has to do with work, a business, or just a situation overall. This is saying is that you can use the tool that that speaks to your talent best, and you have all these resources that you can use, right? So almost as if it reminds me of the Magician card for some reason. And it also tells me that it's important to at many times not focus on lots of different things, because what's happening here is that you're going through some sort of transformation. You can see all the butterflies that are all at the top, and I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to get rid of the glare, so I apologize for that. But there's all these butterflies that are here and here, and it's kind of making a circle. And this is all about this beautiful transformation that is taking place right now. And I see it just being just absolutely beautiful for you. And when I see this, it also tells me too, is that you want to focus on what it is that you want and do what works for you. And as you do it, truly refine your abilities. So now this, again, it could be as it relates to a relationship. It could be even a business or a career of some sort that you're doing. But what it wants to let you know is that you can transfer one skill set to another skill, to another environment. And that's it. And you've got the skill and the transformation on the top to be able to do that. Okay. So you have it in you to be able to do that. And the beauty of this is it wants you to really give up the idea that you must be good at everything, okay? It's very difficult to be good at everything, okay? If it's even possible, right? You can be good at a lot of things, right? But this is saying to really choose one and narrow your interest and build on your existing strengths, because it's going to allow you to conserve your energy, okay? And this is as it relates even to your solar plexus. So it's really important there too. That is, the yellow that you see down here that is saying it's tapping into your power, your confidence, your charisma, even your leadership and clarity. All right. So, the beauty of this is that this is saying to really, really set your sights on what it is that you truly want. And it's going to increase your value, number one. And then it's also, what's going to happen is you're going to get some sort of creative response that will see you really flourish through this process, okay? So even though that it might not be clear maybe what it is exactly that you want to do, something in your life is definitely changing, and it appears to be a little bit unsettling to you. You kind of feel like you're kind of everything's up in the air, right? A little bit, and there's beautiful transformation, and it can be confusing when you're going through something like that. But soon what's going to happen is all the pieces of the puzzle are going to start to fall into place, and then you're going to begin to find meaning in it. So what it wants you to do right now is trust this refinement process at this point, okay? Very, very important to trust the refinement process as you go through, because that's going to be a really key indicator for you. And trust in your ability to love, and also trust in the ability and the capability that you have for compassion, okay? Because what's going to happen is the truth is going to become clear, okay? And I think you're going to really, really enjoy, it's a little bit of shifting and sorting, but it is something that's going to be necessary that you're going through right now. And that's what it's talking about. You know what's interesting here? You see this, there's a triangle, and it's there's a triangle here, right? It's a very versatile symbol. But when I see the triangle, what it talks to me about is that you are the strong, it's one of the strongest shape, because look how it's got a strong, foundation there, right? And any weight that is added to it's evenly distributed. So it's always represents strength. So know that, Virgo, you've got the strength to pull through this. And then you've got an upside down triangle, and you've got the strength one, which is here, but then you also have the upside down triangle. And it's quite beautiful, because all it is tell me is that the upside down triangle talks about being passive and symbolizes mother, okay? And it also is about, I think it has the moon in here. Yeah, it's lunar, okay? It's lunar there too. So when you see the upside down triangle, it means that that the wearer is passive and is ruled by the lunar phases here, okay? So, be careful, just be cognizant of the moon phases and what's going on. I think that's one thing that's going to be very, very important for you at this particular time. That's one thing. So just note that. And I think that there is actually, in the month of March, there is a new moon on March 6th. That is coming through, and there is also a full moon on March 20th. So give or take, depending on where you're at, but it's very close to that. So I want you to pay attention to that, because that's actually going to be very, very key for you, okay? And that's really, really important, okay? And what else do I see? It's kind of like, obviously I'm seeing a lot of green here, but I'm seeing water lilies here. Why am I seeing water lilies here? They talk about rebirth. This makes total sense, guys. Okay, check this out. You see, it's almost like there's water lilies like around here, and what it talks about is rebirth, and the optimism that returns after it rains. Especially because lilies are associated with rebirth and optimism, and they return to the waterways after the rains. Even if they've dried up the previous season, that water lily can symbolize fertility, creation, sexuality. It also means peace, purity, and spiritual enlightenment. You've got a lot of resources. This is why I'm calling this one like it's similar to, has magical qualities as of the Magician card. But I'm seeing that you've got the resources that are available to you, that if anything is not working and it's dried up, you can bring it back to peace and then have some spiritual alignment to go through this kind of like transformation. transformation here. So this is really beautiful, really, really beautiful. You see a lot of green, which has to do with the heart chakra, okay? And that is all about love, trust, healing, and also compassion, right? And you see a lot of the indigo blue that is around, you can see it's like around her head and also around here. And that is specifically talking about the crown, like it's like the third eye, right? It's like the third eye, and it is about the clarity. It's really important. Gosh, what is it? Yeah, it's about clarity. And it's also about using your intuition and your sixth sense, okay? So really powerful card, okay? Really powerful card. Jeez, that's just 10 minutes on that card. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what else is coming through here. See, exactly what I thought is that you have the power and the resources to create things as you would like them to be, and or to transform. But it is saying that to use your specialization and really narrow down things. What happens is that, you know how base metals can create gold? Well, the next card that you get is alchemy. So it's all about the shifting and sorting and using your resources to your advantage, okay? And this is beautiful. The yellow is talking about the solar plexus, and this is actually your power and your identity, okay? It is talking about that, and it is also, it is very, very, what I want to say about confidence. It is also about charisma and leadership. So it's quite beautiful. You of course got still a little bit more of that indigo blue, and you also got a lot of that kind of red, which is your root chakra, and that is about getting balanced, okay? It is about stability. It is about having patience, but it's also about prosperity, even career success too. So I want you guys to know that, but also being patient and loyal and having that tenacity. So do keep that in mind. So I think this is quite beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. So it's almost as if you're being like this alchemist, okay? And you're creating something seamlessly through this magical process, okay? And they transform, an alchemist transforms things for the better. If they believe that it could lead to be perfected, like putting, you know, the base metals into gold, okay? And that is through transmutation. That is through transformation that you see around over here, okay? So very, very beautiful, because what happens, it brings some sort of essential element to superior form. We are bringing you, what's happening here is that you are being brought to superior form. Okay, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's definitely about kind of prolonging even life, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So that's what's coming into play over here. Let's see what else wants to come out for you here. I have these down backwards. Let me just see here. Yeah, I do. Okay, got it. Okay, so these are fragments. Okay, how interesting. You're going to have to check another read, you know, because they got almost these two same these two same cards here. But fragments, you know how you're like, fragments are, this is almost tells me afraid to show who you really are or what your hidden truth is. And this is maybe not liking, maybe perhaps that shadow side of yourself. And what this wants to do is it wants to let you know that shadow side is part of your who you are, and it's just as important as it is then your light side, because it's like that. It is that the positive and negative, kind of like the opposite type thing. I'm trying to think of the word. I can't think of off the top of my head, but in any way, but that's what it's talking about. So there are fragments that something is hidden, and it could be a something in a current situation that's happening for you right now. It could be as it relates to a relationship. It could be a career or some situation at hand. But it's almost like it's something hidden is influencing some sort of event that's happening right now for you. It's like trust issues are coming into play, maybe due to secrecy or deception. it also could be something as a childhood ordeal, something as a child that you have experienced that is wasn't that is now coming to light. And this is saying that reflect on it and draw your own meaning. So if that means holding your broken self, whether that's you or another, in a loving orbit until it is strong and beautiful once more, there are parts of yourself that that have yet to realize. Remember, like we talked about. So just take time in getting to know yourself. Take time getting to know perhaps it's someone else, okay? And really respond to, beyond your thoughts, there is this mirror of infinity, that it's a clear space, which you'll see your true reflection. And it's there you see your whole self. Again, your shadows and your light, like we talked about. See that you are absolutely beautiful, Virgo. Okay? You have nothing to prove to anyone. You have nothing to hide from anyone. Okay? And you are blessed and you are held in the loving field of the divine Mother Earth. You see how there's the eye, it's like the third eye, and it's almost as if that now you have this, you're looking at yourself in a different perspective. You're looking at yourself, yes, you kind of come into perspective. You've kind of seen that hidden truth as a child or whatever situation it is, but you've got a keen eye, for the situation at hand. And that's what's actually coming into play here. So this is quite interesting. And eyes, what they talk about, they signify clairvoyance, right? They talk about the gateway to the soul, and it's also associated with light. It's associated with intelligence. Now it's also looking someone in the eye, as it's kind of like it's our Western civilization custom. And when you look someone in the eye, it signifies honesty, right? Well, whether or not they're honest or not, that's for you to determine, and yet to be, experienced. But I just wanted to bring this to light. This is such an interesting card. And you just no longer need to hide yourself, and it's just has so many meanings in that. And note your comments below on how that resonates with you, okay? And the next card that we get is absence. Okay, so interesting. So it's almost as if, now I'm not sure if you're missing someone. Okay, that very much well could be the case at this time, and perhaps something is hidden, and you perhaps are missing someone. You're missing something, because we do have the heart that's located over here, right? And it's someone that's taken a pause. Something is hidden, as it pertains to the moon here. But as I'm looking at this, I've got lots of hearts like around her neck as well. And it's almost as if there's something that is actually, perhaps, missing, in your life. And for you to determine what that is. Because absence makes the soul grow stronger. And the absence of like an agenda, stress, or the desire, to wear a mask required of you can be fully present once more. Okay, so all I see here is it's not what's present, but what's missing that needs attention right now. So rather than fighting what you don't want, just put all of your energy, Virgo, into what it is that you do want. But what this wants you to do is she's closing her eyes. She's looking within, but she's also getting some rest. And that's going to be really, really important, okay? Because you can get a lot of illumination, in which you are going through a lot of that through here, okay? A lot of transformation, but a lot of illumination. You're using a lot of your resources and all of that. And what's happening is that when you go through this, you need some rest. And so what this is talking about is that it's that constant illumination can bring burnout. So it does want you to step back and maybe focus on connecting with your inner world. And that way time kind of melts, a little bit and into eternity, right? And then love is present. So these dark, quiet, inward, journeys that we can take, whether it's through meditation or whatever that you do that puts you into that position, it can be quite illuminating and bright as Your inward journeys can be just as illuminating as journeys, as your journey on the outside in the external world. And it can be quite exhausting as it is if you were on your, in the physical plane, in the real world. And I think some of you can hopefully understand what I'm trying to say. It's just the journey within. It's almost like you can almost quantify. There's an inward journey and then there's outward journeys. And the dark, quiet inward journeys can be just as illuminating and bright as those outward ones. Okay, so that's basically it. Okay, so we all need the darkness sometimes to understand the absence of light, right? And we can create these spaces of rest, of healing, of intimacy, and that's going to be very, very key. And when you're ready and rested and healed, then you can emerge and become present in the light once more. Okay. So, this is saying that taking that inward journey for you right now is going to be very, very key in the process. That's interesting. Very interesting. It's like there's this little horse with these little hooves on here. And it's almost as if that you find freedom from going within, okay? Because horses signify that freedom. And I almost see is that because like riding a horse and galloping, it can make you just feel so free. And horses make people feel free, from their own bindings, okay? And horses are also symbols of travel, the travel of going within, okay? And it also is about movement, and it's also about desire, okay? In Native American tribes, many of them, the horse represents power, which I think is so absolutely beautiful. Very, very beautiful. I love this for all of you. Oh, this is so beautiful. So let me go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and pull some soul trees and see what they would like to say to you as you go through your journey here. Okay. Quite beautiful. Okay. Celebration. Nice. Okay. So I think that, you're going to have a lot of success by going through this process. This alchemy and the shifting and specializing and understanding and having these keen perceptions now as you see yourself now and, looking at your both shadow and your light side or, whatever situation that was brought up. Those fragments, by going within, is going to help you bring some sort of celebration and a good outcome. And it's very multicolored, right? It's almost as if that it's like this beautiful tree that's like a rainbow, right? It's like the spiritual meaning of a rainbow is like this inner awakening, right? It's like shining the light through positive attributes such as truth and through wisdom. Okay. It is very magical and it's very spiritual. And it's so funny. I saw a rainbow yesterday and it was so beautiful and I just wanted to take a picture and I was driving. I was like, and it came and went and it just was so absolutely beautiful. So when I see that, this is like this rainbow of celebration, right? And it is sometimes, now this is in the month of March that I'm doing this for, though that I am recording this on the 17th of February. But a rainbow does have a spiritual meaning in the form of inner awakening. And it is absolutely beautiful, okay? And what's beautiful about this is because we're in the month of March, and the Irish mythology is that rainbows are even thought to be the hidden place for pots of gold, right? You always see the pots of gold at the end of the rainbow. And you see that, I don't know, Lucky Charms commercials or something from years ago. Some of you might not even know what that cereal is, but long time ago. But I just remember that commercial. But anyway, it is a symbol of good luck. It is provides us with hope and motivation, okay? And they can motivate us to endure through our darkest times as you go through this, okay? So what a neat meaning, okay? Neat stuff here, okay? Then we've got the crown chakra, okay? Very beautiful. Now the crown is that violet and white, right? It's that very beautiful. It's the crown right at the top of your head. it's consciousness, it's this element, and it is, this is also talking about oneness with the divine, okay? It is about unity. It is about wisdom and understanding. And guess what? Also, the positive qualities of this are miracles and bliss, okay? Let alone intelligence, all right? And you know that there is an imbalance in this when you are feeling depressive, when you are feeling, confusion, that type of thing. That's what's actually comes up. So I think that one of the positive things in terms of an affirmation would be, I am intelligent, I am aware, I am one with everything, I am the source of the divine, and I live in the now. Okay, so that's the seventh chakra. Okay, I'm not surprised that this showed up. It's you're getting these, that you're getting this alchemy and stuff. This is very powerful. This is a very powerful spread all up here. Okay, what else? Emerging. Oh, no kidding. This is the red, and this is the red color is about your root chakra, right? This is about stability. This is about prosperity. It is about, again, career success too, but vitality, loyalty, stability if it pertains perhaps to you, and also getting your stability back, or the stability back in a relationship that had to go through some of this stuff could be. But you are emerging in the emergence, and you're going through this transformation, this, and then an evolution through this process. We're always evolving. Our work and our learnings are never done. But you are emerging, and I like this because it's the root chakra, it's Madhulahara, and it's all about really focusing on what supports you. Okay, it is the element of the earth, and it governs the sense of smell. So perhaps things like that. I do have some incense that are going on in the background. And I put the incense of love on right now for you on this read. So you're emerging perhaps in loving yourself too as you're going through this. But this is quite beautiful. Okay, you might be in absence of a love, maybe absence of loving yourself. So note your comments below. I hope that this resonated in some way, shape, or form, Virgo. And I look forward to seeing you in the month of, April. And until then, namaste.